You ever ask your AI assistant to do something that feels, totally simple, like change a flight or return something you bought, only for it to get completely confused or miss a step or just fail? Yeah, you are not alone. We've got these incredibly powerful AI models, but they still trip up on tasks that feel like they should be easy. So today, we're going to dig into some really fascinating research that explains exactly why this is happening and what it's going to take to build AI that we can actually, truly trust.
It all comes down to this really frustrating gap, right? Between what we expect them to do and what they can actually pull off. We want an assistant that can handle messy, real-world problems, but what we often get is something that kind of falls apart under pressure.
So let's look at a perfect example from the research. A user wants to change their flight. The AI correctly figures out the ticket is basic economy, it checks the airline's policy, and it knows, okay, this can't be changed. But it doesn't just stop there. It finds a clever workaround using the 24-hour cancellation rule. It offers that solution to the user, and then it adapts on the fly when the user changes their mind. This isn't just following a simple command. It's like a multi-step dance between rules, tools, and a real human conversation.
Now, you look at that and it seems pretty straightforward, right? I mean, a human customer service agent would handle that without even breaking a sweat. So the big question is, why do even our most advanced AI models struggle to do this kind of thing reliably? Well, the answer, it turns out, isn't just about the AI itself. The real problem is how we've been grading them this whole time. For years, we've basically been giving AI assistants the equivalent of a super simple open book test, where all the information is just handed to them on a silver platter. But the real world, well, it's anything but simple. And I mean, the difference is just night and day. The old benchmarks were so clean, so neat, the AI got one single perfect instruction. But reality, it's messy. Conversations go in circles, people change their minds, you only have half the information you need, and this is the big one. There are strict rulebooks, company policies, that you have to follow perfectly. We just weren't testing for any of that.
So, to fix this, researchers built a brand new evaluation, a much, much tougher gauntlet called TauBench. I want you to think of it less like a multiple-choice quiz and more like a final driving test for AI, complete with unexpected traffic jams and a really strict instructor.
So what exactly is TauBench? At its heart, it's a new standard that's built to actually mimic reality. It forces an AI agent to juggle three things all at once: have a conversation with a simulated human who acts like a real person, use real-world tools like databases and APIs, and follow a specific rulebook, no exceptions. This new driving test is built on three key pillars. First, it gives the AI access to actual tools, like a real flight database. Second, it gives the AI a policy manual, the official rulebook. And third, it puts the AI up against a simulated user, which is actually powered by another AI that acts just like a real person. They're unpredictable, they're brief, and sometimes they change their mind halfway through the conversation.
All right, so the researchers took today's top AI models and threw them into this new gauntlet. And the results? Well, they were pretty sobering to say the least.
Get this, even the absolute best of the best, GPT-4o, only succeeded on the difficult airline test less than 36% of the time. Let that sink in for a second. That means it failed almost 2/3 of the time. This just perfectly shows the huge gap between what an AI can do and what it can do reliably.
And this was not just a one-off problem. Other top models like Claude 3 Opus performed almost exactly the same, and Gemini 1.5 Pro had an even tougher time. This proves it's not a flaw with one single model, it's a fundamental challenge for the entire field. The driving test is failing almost everyone who takes it. The researchers also came up with a totally new way to measure performance that is all about reliability. It's called PassHat-K. And it doesn't just ask, hey, can the AI solve this problem once? No, it asks, if we give the AI the exact same problem K times in a row, what's the probability it's going to succeed every single time? This is all about measuring consistency. And this is where things get really wild. The hit to reliability is just staggering. For GPT-4o on a retail task, its chance of succeeding just once was okay, about 61%. But its chance of succeeding on that same task 8 times in a row, whoa, it plummeted to less than 25%. So the big takeaway here is that even when an AI can get it right, it often isn't consistent enough to be truly reliable.
So we know they're failing, but why are they failing? Let's actually break down the most common mistakes these AI agents were making during the tests. Okay, so if we look at a breakdown of GPT-4o's failures, a really clear pattern emerges. The single biggest problem, making up a third of all failures, was using the wrong argument. That means it called the right tool, but it fed it the wrong details. Another quarter of the time, it made the wrong decision. It just chose the wrong tool completely because it misunderstood the rules. The rest was a mix of giving out wrong information and only solving part of what the user asked for.
Let's make this real, though. What do these errors actually look like? Well, complex reasoning is when a user says, exchange this lamp for one that's less bright and uses an AC adapter, and the AI just can't sort through the database to find it. Rule following is when the policy clearly says only one exchange per order, but the AI processes one item and then tries to do a second one anyway, just breaking the rule. And compound requests, that's a classic. It's when a user asks to both fix their address and change an item, and the AI carefully fixes the address and then completely forgets about the other half of the request. So, what's the big takeaway from all of this? Look, these tough scores aren't a reason to be down on AI. Actually, it's the exact opposite. For the first time, we have a clear, detailed roadmap. These failures pinpoint the exact weaknesses in reasoning, in following rules, in memory that researchers need to zero in on to build AI we can finally depend on. At the end of the day, if we ever want an AI to be a true assistant, one that can reliably handle our flights, our orders, our errands, it has to prove it can handle the chaos of the real world. It has to pass its driving test. The big question now is, with a proper test like Teverbench to guide them, how long will it be until these agents finally earn their license?